You're listening to The Fellas with Anthony McCoy,
Listen, man, that wasn't my fault. It was an unknown error.
Rich Thurston,
Someone said it was like the Bulls never changed their passwords, and Tibbs just popped in and did an auto trade.
Kev Lund,
You could tell he was a Mets fan because he was just like, yep, real quiet. Didn't want to say much about the Yanks. 99 problems, but a pitch ain't one.
and Kyle Straub.
When one of those point guards is James Harden, yes, the answer is yes, they are a better team.
Happy Monday, and thanks for tuning in. Kyle Straub with you here on The Fellas, joined by Kev Lund, Anthony McCoy, and Rich Thurston. Fellas, I hope you guys had a good weekend. I know I did. Ready to get right into this one. The big news, even though it's the off season, it has been talked about all week long, and it just keeps picking up steam. It's the new CTE study that came out for the NFL, and on top of that, the players that are starting to retire early. We just had another guy today, Rob Ningovich of the Patriots, went a couple of days ago. I have to pose this question off the top because two of us have got kids. Would you let your kids play football knowing what we know now?
Nope.
Anthony.
Nope. Not at all. They're trying to say, like, some of these people that have it didn't even play in the NFL. So, high school football, which is probably where they tackle a lot more dangerous, but no, not a chance of my son playing football.
No, yeah, I've been on my son's not playing football train since like 2012 or 13, and he was born in 2012. So, yeah, besides the fact that the studies are so overwhelming that you're going to get CTE or some kind of brain damage or something, it's the sheer ignorance of the NFL to just kind of ignore it. Like, they try to just push it to the side, and I'm not letting him. Yeah, it's not happening.
I agree.
They were
They
pissed
did
when
push
that
it to the
concussion
side.
movie came out because it kind of exposed them and it kickstarted more of the studies that we know about now and are being able to find out stuff like this, that they test NFL brains. Out of 100 of them, 99% of them have got CTE. That is just insane. You know that statistic may not compute through the 13,000 people that play in the NFL, but even if it's half of them, it's a 50-50 shot that you may go brain dead by the time you're 35. Do you want to play? Seems like a real easy answer to me. It's no.
But it's not. Your boy Jamal Adams just said today that the football
yeah, I was
field's
gonna
the
bring
perfect
that up,
place
man.
to die, and the fans are loving it.
Don't be stealing my headlines, McCoy.
I mean, it's the trade-off. Are you going to put yourself in that situation for millions of dollars? Personally, I probably would. I'll take the NFL salary.
It depends where you come from, man. I mean, I don't know what his child was like, but from the southeast, growing up, even from the northeast, like us, it wasn't the greatest, and you're put into that. I'd risk it for $1 million. That $55 million, I'm in, dude.
All in, all in, absolutely.
See, I have a tough time answering this question because my gut reaction is, yeah, me back then, of course I'm going to do it. But at the same time, we're talking about your brain. This isn't something that's small. It's not like, hey, you may not be able to walk and run when you're a little bit older because your knees are going to be screwed up. You literally may not be alive past 40 because your brain is not going to work anymore. It's just a whole different kind of injury that we're dealing with. And I think a lot of people just don't realize how serious it is when you're talking about the brain. And that it baffles me when guys, who's the guy from the Ravens that just retired?
The center. Herschel or Kershaw?
3 years into the league, the guy is like a genius when it comes to numbers, and he wants to go follow that. And people are like, oh, why would you retire? What are you doing?
But, Straub, let me pose this question, man. That guy's like rocket scientist. He can afford to just kind of, take the NFL contract and rip it up and go retire. But who's to say one of these dudes from the hood that gets out by playing football is going to live past 40? You know what I mean? Either way. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate, man. It's both ways.
No, I understand, and I think that's why you're always going to have the NFL. It's not going to go away because even though you may have people that are able to step away, there's somebody that's going to be right behind them saying, I'll take that money. Let me go ahead and take that spot.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't matter for the league because they're always going to have players regardless. I mean,
but I also feel like that kind of breeds this culture of, even if you do get a head injury, don't come off the field because there's somebody that's going to step in behind you and then your job is gone.
Well, that's the part that bothers me the most. Like, of all of this, it's all right. Like, if I walked up to Kev and I was like, "Yo, Kev, for 16 weeks out of the year, me and you are going to stand in the field, put some pads on and a helmet, and run right into each other as hard as we can for an hour. Like, we'll take like a 20-minute break at 30 minutes, but we're doing it for an hour. Kev would look at me and be like, nah, son, what are you talking about?
For $55 million.
Yeah, but the thing is like, if you said that to anyone, they would be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll get hurt. But as soon as you drop football in there, it's like, well, hell yeah, I'll do that. Well, like, what do you,
that's being a man,
what
right?
changed? You know? And like, it's almost the same thing with concussions. Like, if I walk out of my house right now, fall and get a concussion, people are gonna be like, oh, don't go to sleep for 2 hours. Gotta go to the doctors. You get a concussion on a football field, it's like, you need to get back in the game.
Yeah.
Like, what, you don't care
Shake it
about
off.
your teammates. Yeah, it's like, it all goes
no.
out the window as soon as football drops in.
Nobody cared about me when I got a concussion. I had to drive myself home.
So I had a quicker glove hit, man.
That's 'cause
Got a
you were
line
playing
drive
sport,
right off
Kev,
the head.
Man up.
Yeah,
see?
man, Kev. Don't be
Baseball
soft
don't
out
care
here.
either.
I heard a former college quarterback on a podcast over the weekend, and he was talking about a situation where he had where the starting quarterback his freshman year got hurt. He went in, and the very first play, this dude on Georgia came around the end and just took his head off. He said, I got up, my ear hole was looking out my eye hole, and I didn't know where I was. They called in the play, and I looked down at my wristband, and I couldn't read anything. It was just a blank piece of paper. I didn't want to come out of the game, so I tapped my wide receiver and said, hey, read this play. I think that's the one they're calling. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, even though we think that the NFL and the culture is changing and they're doing stuff, they're not.
Oh, yeah, I don't
Well,
think they are at all.
The
All the
NFL
money
actually
that-
pulled their funding from that. They were supposed to give that
Yes.
that Health National Institute of Health the $30 million, and they cut
Yep,
it off.
they gave
They gave them
Yep,
half.
they gave
and-
30 mil. What was it? 2 years ago that they announced
Yep.
that they were gonna put all this money in to help test for CTE, and now they're taking it all out because
Yep.
they're starting to find out just how bad football is for people.
They've
you
given
know
them,
where
I
it's
think they
going?
said 15 mil, and they said they haven't seen any of the rest of it. So
They're gonna hire some more people to suspend you for smoking weed, and they're gonna spend that $30 million to promote Bud Light again all Sunday long.
yeah, because alcohol is so much better for you, right?
They should
Hey,
take it
football,
and actually
football and
make a
alcohol,
helmet.
they both
man.
are great for the brain.
Yeah.
Invest
that's the American
invest
way.
in safety. They should have like some crazy high tech helmet by now, man. I mean, we're
Yeah,
out
but
here
what,
playing.
what helmet's gonna help you though? The one article I read said the offensive linemen's collisions are like driving at 30 miles per hour into
Yeah.
a brick wall. Like a helmet's not gonna help you. Yeah, maybe a little
There's
bit,
something,
but
60 times.
yeah,
they say they do it
62 times a game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's two different types of collisions that we're talking about that they need to try and get away from, and it's the high impact guys going out over the middle that get decleated and just you see them, they get laid out, Wayne Corbett asleep on the field, that kind of stuff.
Holly.
But then you also have the Michael Orr, like you guys were just saying, the offensive linemen that just constantly get those little shots to the head. Well, Michael Orr just got released, and he put out a tweet. It got taken down pretty quickly, but luckily the internet's able to screen grab these things. He takes 10 pills a day, and they're all for his brain.
Yep.
See,
He
like,
was
none
in-
of this is normal. Like,
No.
like if
He
I
was in
told you I had to
concussion
do
protocol
this,
9
like,
months.
yeah, like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep. So do you think somebody like him, because that happened and that's a public figure, they had that movie, maybe he's the person that can kind of turn the culture a little bit and have the fans maybe say, wait, hold on.
No,
We
that's-
actually want to care
No.
about our players.
It has
Nobody
No,
cares
not at
about
all.
the real Michael Orr.
I'm just foolish thinking that.
Everybody just paid millions to watch John Bones Jones kick that dude in the face, and he was stumbling
Good.
backwards.
Daniel Cormier deserved it. I don't
They're
like that
gonna,
dude.
And they're gonna pay to keep watching it every Sunday. Trust
Yeah,
me.
that dude definitely. Yeah, after the fight, the way that dude was stumbling around, they showed like a separate screen grab of it. You could tell he had no idea what was going on. Like he was yelling at the ref after the fight, asking him why he stopped it. It's like, dude, you were
I
in the
heard-
fetal position, sleeping. Like,
I heard an
crazy.
interview with him afterwards, and he said, I don't know what happened. They told me I got kicked.
well, let me ask you guys this: Daniel Cormier made $1 million for that fight from the UFC. Would you take that $1 million to take that kick to the face?
Come on,
No.
man.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not, no.
all
Yep.
day.
I'm taking the money. Bones
Me
Jones
too,
Yeah, like,
is
we're not
kicking
talking
in
about
the teeth
repeated
right
blows,
now.
just one time. Put me
I
to
already
sleep,
got
let
one
me wake up,
concussion.
my
Give me the
million.
second one. And the money.
And the money.
It's crazy though. I mean, like Michael Orr being in concussion protocol 9 months, like stuff like that. Like you got to retire at that point, you know? Like,
Yeah, I mean, 10. You would think after you have to start taking one pill a day for your brain at the age of 30 something that you would stop then. He's up to 10 a day.
yeah,
Damn.
it's crazy.
And
It's not
to
gonna
your point
change.
before, Rich, it's not, but it's like there's more awareness now, so I feel like maybe it might a little bit, but it's not going to change much because even looking back on our childhood, like the teams we grew up liking, Troy Aikman, why'd he retire?
Well, yeah.
Because he couldn't take any more hits because of his head. Steve Young, I loved watching that dude. He was forced to retire because of the head hits. They knew that this stuff was happening. They didn't let it out. Now that it is out, it's so late into this process that I don't know if they can change, but I really hope it does, though.
Well, two things. Let's not get this twisted. Fans don't give a damn about the players. Like, they're interchangeable pieces. They're fantasy team. Like,
Yeah.
they don't care about the players. And number two, forgot where I was going to go with this.
I'll back you up, man.
you take too many
just
headshots as a kid.
They're just gonna come in and say that guy sucks. They don't care who's gonna remember that football player in 3 years. Nobody. But like Rich was saying, that Sunday when that guy's taking a beating, but he gets that ball across the goal line and got 6 points for the fantasy.
That's all they care
squad.
about.
That's it. I mean, and until the fans stop watching, nothing is gonna stop. The money's gonna keep coming in.
Exactly.
Well,
Money
think
at the
there's
end
a
of
way
the,
that they can-
all about
do
the
you think-
money.
Do you guys think there's a way that they can alter the game so that it's not the same game anymore? You're taking away tackling, maybe doing something different.
Thank you for saying that because that jarred my memory. This is the stupid
Yeah.
thing about all of this. When a player gets hit, or if they come out of a game because they're hurt or they have a concussion, you have some guy who played in the 80s or the 70s and they're like, I used to get 3 concussions a game. Look at this. These guys are weak now. They're soft. And it's like, you know what? You also used to smoke 10 packs of cigarettes a day, and now people
On the
don't.
sideline.
And now people don't because they found out it'll kill them.
Came
like-
out onto the
Yeah.
field sniffing lines. in
New,
the
yeah,
locker room,
exactly.
man.
Like everyone used to smoke around kids. Now we found out secondhand smoke kills. Like
They
as you
smoked
get
in
more
airplanes,
information,
man. In
Yeah, you
airplanes.
change your
yeah,
ways,
right.
absolutely.
You change your ways as you get more information. It doesn't make you
Yep.
soft. It makes you smart and
Makes
like
you smart.
and like you're
Preserving yourself, like
Yeah.
just surviving,
evolution.
right?
You know,
Yeah.
like
You know, stuff things change.
you
like,
didn't have to wear seatbelts years ago, but now it's like, yo, you need to buckle up because 10 years ago I used to be able to text and drive. Now if I do, I get a ticket. You know why? Because
Hefty
texting
fine.
and driving kills people.
Yeah.
Like
Because it's not a smart thing to do.
exactly.
You
People
better be
are
texting
so
and
afraid to
driving and
change.
soft, man.
I know you
People
don't.
are afraid
so
to
if-
change, man. That's why.
That's right. I follow the law.
Well, you have to.
So here's my last question on this topic. Do you
Like
guys
get
think
cornbread
that,
thrown at me if not.
Oh, duck. You better duck.
Oh, no one wants cornbread while driving.
Um,
let me know when y'all are done.
oh, go ahead. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
keep laughing at the background.
Do you think this trend of people, especially the young superstars, retiring continues in the NFL, or do you think it's a story because nothing is going to change that kind of just falls to the back page and isn't that big of a deal in a couple of years again?
Has any superstar retired though because of this? Like,
Yeah, I mean, guys are starting to. Like Rob Ninkovich just retired. The
He's a
Jaguars
superstar.
just had us.
He's not a superstar.
I mean, he's on the Patriots. He's one of their main pieces on
But
their
he played
defense.
for 9 years. Let's get
Okay,
out.
fine. All right. The
3 times the average NFL career length. I mean, that's
the
pretty damn
Jaguars
good.
just had a 2-time Pro Bowler that retired. He's only
And
been in the
Brandon
league for
Albert,
4
yeah.
years.
yeah.
The guy for the Ravens was going to be a starting center this year. They were real high on this dude. It was his 3rd season. So, like, guys are definitely, they're starting to.
But-
Calvin Johnson even said that part of the reason that he retired was because
the Lions
he was
suck.
worried about head injuries on top of he played for the worst place in the world.
Calvin Johnson was also in his 30s though, right?
Yeah, none
Like,
of the, all
we're not
these
talking about
guys
like
are
Odell
rocket
Beckham. Like,
scientists.
yeah,
But-
what if
but-
Odell Beckham instead of signing a new deal says no, I'm retiring? Like that would be a superstar retiring.
And your
you know?
boy,
But-
that dude Brandon Albert played for 9 years too, Stroh. 3
Yeah.
times
But these
the
dudes,
average
but these
NFL
dudes
career.
also, when they were younger, didn't know about CTE. Like this is all just coming out in the last 3-4 years now. And in the last 3-4 years, now you're starting to see people prematurely retire compared to what they used to do.
Let a quarterback retire because
Yeah.
of it in his big contract or when he's 28 years old, and then you'll start to see something. But position players, man, a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
It's not changing
Rob-
anything until it starts to affect the bottom line.
QBs, dude, you can't have that league without quarterbacks.
Roethlisberger was just talking about that, actually, about how it's a factoring into his decision to play after the season and how it's something he had thought before agreeing to come back. He said he was worried about it, but he was like, I love the game too much to retire now, so we'll see after the season. So
Dude goes out there and plays with broken legs.
yeah, right. He's
But,
not worried
like-
about his brain.
But to Kev's
Drama
point, like,
queen.
he's like 14 years into Super Bowls. Like,
Right.
now you start to worry about your brain.
So you
Exactly.
think guys are going to keep going, get their money, and then once they get it, say, all right, now I'm going to get out of here.
Well, I
Yeah,
said a few years ago if Cam Newton would have won the Super Bowl, I would have retired. Like, what else did he have to do?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have a successful
He takes a
football
beating.
life.
I can understand that, except you can keep making all that money, I guess, is the reason you keep playing.
Yeah, I mean, but from the game wise, like, he won a Heisman, he won a national championship, won a Super Bowl, won an MVP. Like, I want
Kind of
to,
got all the accolades you can get.
I want to remember everything.
Plus, Cam Newton's out here saying he's not running the ball less, so he's not worried about the contact anyway.
He's lazy.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah, he's
Your boy
lazy.
Colin Coward.
that's the dumbest
That's
shit
why-
I've ever heard. Son.
That's why he runs. He's lazy, not just because it's a good weapon
No
to use.
sense.
And then he went to the patent that you have to be smart and study
yeah.
hard, All the code
It's-
words for, the black
Yeah.
quarterback's dumb.
Uh-huh.
Yep,
I
always.
love that this is even a conversation. Like, we got to stop Cam from running. Do you think at one point ever that Bill Walsh was like, Steve Young, you need to stop running? Or even George Seaver, because he came in afterwards. Neither of those dudes were telling him to stop running. Nobody was telling Brett Favre to stop scrambling around and throwing bombs down the field looking for people. Let him do what works. That's what works.
Let him do what made him a star. Like,
Yeah.
you don't put the reins on that.
Not everybody fits into the mold of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
And let's not act like Cam Newton's been surrounded by superb talent besides him.
No, but I will tell you, I'm excited to see him with Christian McCaffrey. Like, this is the first time he's going to have a back out of the field that can actually do some things, because Jonathan Stewart was just a nose down, go straight forward kind of running back.
And always hurt.
Yeah, that
Jonathan
too.
Stewart said no one could touch him in training camp right now. He's putting the moves on everybody.
Oh, okay.
Trying to get paid somewhere else. That's why.
I mean, hey, if they got a
About the
two,
time.
if they got a two back system like a lot of teams now, you can have that guy that goes straight forward and then throw a screen out to McCaffrey or something, and that's a way that you don't have to get Cam on those off tackle runs. If you take that away, you're saving him a little bit, but the scramble stuff he needs to keep though.
Yeah, I never liked the design QB run play anyway. Like, I always feel like they should just do a passing play and just, Cam being Cam will break it off and run if he wants to. Yeah, I never liked that, like, QB keeper crap in the NFL. Like,
Let
they
the
just put the
wideouts
QB
run
out
the
there.
DBs away.
Yeah, right. That's how I used to play in Madden. Just send everybody out and there goes Vic. You can't stop that, Cut out half of the defense.
Vic was also a cheat code in that game.
I'll use any black QB.
Josh
in that
Johnson
game.
was
It
your
don't gotta be
boy.
Vic.
Or White Vic, the
Slash,
punter. You gotta
Slash
get the
was my
punter.
boy back
Josh
in Madden
Johnson, McCoy.
64, man.
He's not White Vic.
Josh Johnson, beast out there. Can't stop these dudes. I was out there with Leftwich, Michael Brick running the bootleg.
Oh. None of them are White Vic. You got to pick the punter.
That's a cheat code.
Fake punt to the hizzy.
That was a
That was
playoff
funny.
game, right?
That was, I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know.
just
I think it was a Sunday
the
or Monday
Saints.
night game.
It might have been the game where
Man,
they
that was the Steve
opened up
Gleason
after
game.
the hurricane, but I don't know.
Only
That
one
play's
man
been
made
wild.
plays in that game.
Oh yeah, there you go. It was a white. There was a white. I knew it was a white. Making plays.
All right, I know we got a bunch of them. You guys want to move on to some of the questions that we got from
Yeah, we have
Twitter
4 of
this
them.
week? I think we got 3 or 4 of them, right, Rich? We got 4 of them. All right, where do you guys want to start off? I think we had
yeah,
2 that
they're
were
both
kind of linked
Laker
together.
Centric. Our boy White_Mamba88 again. He sent us in another question, and he wants to know how soon will Lonzo Ball be an All-Star? Go for it.
I'm taking this one first. So why are we just assuming that he's going to be an all-star? Like, this kid hasn't played 1 minute in the NBA, and how soon until he becomes an all-star? How about, is he going to be an all-star? Let's start with that one. Maybe. Possibly. I don't think it's going to be easy for him to be an all-star in the West by any means. One, you're talking about a 19-year-old kid. Two, you're talking about a loaded conference, especially with the point guards out West. So who's he going to replace to get into an all-star game in the next 4 years even?
Yeah.
So let's just start with, is he going to become an all-star?
I agree with.
and
I'm a Laker
go from
fan.
there?
We'll just let people know this, and I agree with everything you just said. But you left out one important factor. He's on the Lakers.
Yep.
I did think about that. You're going to get the votes because
on
you're
the
on the
Lakers.
Lakers.
Fans vote.
Listen, yeah, but
But
he's
who's he
not
going to
gonna
replace
make
as a
it. Like,
point
I
guard
think he
on
can
an
be an
all-star
all-star
team?
as soon as his second year in the league. I'm not going to say he deserves to be an all-star, but he could be an all-star.
Fan
I
vote.
see
He's
what you
gonna be
mean.
nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I just-
point
I just-
guards he got to overpass, man.
Yeah, there's two. Like Lillard doesn't even sniff the
Listen,
All-Star game.
I get all
and He
that.
drops buckets.
But he's on Portland.
That's-
he's
it's
not
tough out
in
West.
LA. If he can bring any kind of excitement back to LA, he
Yeah.
will be an all-star. Whether he deserves it or not.
Yeah, I can see what you said, because part of the All-Star game is a popularity contest, not just a best player. I feel like the NBA, you end up getting the best players most of the time, but there still is a popularity contest aspect to it somewhat.
All right, so
I think he could
how
be
long-
one in the second
How
year.
many years?
I think if he becomes an All-Star at all, it's not for another until at least year 4, 5.
That's what I was going for. Year 5.
Is,
Right around
is he
5.
still going to be behind Harden? And well, Harden might take a step back as a point guard this year. So now you're gonna have CP3 getting older. Russ is going to still run it, and Steph is going to be out there.
Well, Curry's like
That's what
29.
I'm saying, like-
They're all right around 30. So
Get 5
But-
years down the line, and maybe he can go ahead and take one of their spots. But, it'll all depend on how he's received in LA and
Well,
how
he's
he does.
already
'Cause
loved.
if he is
Like,
loved,
people already
Rich
compare him
said,
to Magic Johnson.
could get
People
him-
go to Dodger games.
But if
with
he goes-
Kobe
but if he
jerseys,
comes-
the 4
but if he
crossed
comes
out
in-
and just the 2, like it's ridiculous.
I know.
Yeah.
I know how much they love him, but you also know how quick Laker fans are to turn on somebody. If he comes in this first year and just bombs, he's going to be a bust real quick in their eyes.
Terrible.
bust. Straight
No,
bust.
because they already
Will they
have
treat
it.
him the same way as D'Angelo?
Yeah.
No, he's already gotten treated better. He's gotten treated better the moment he got announced before he
Oh,
even
yeah.
got drafted, actually.
Yeah, like D'Angelo got a raw deal because he
Yeah.
got in there when
But this
Byron
dude
Scott
a
was there,
bust
and that
his
dude had a
first
vendetta
5
against
minutes in
him.
the
Yeah,
summer league.
everybody had one. Yeah, it's crazy. Lonzo got more love than him before he even got announced as the pick. Y'all didn't even have him yet, and he was getting love over Russell when you still had Russell. And you see, Russell came out the other
Because
day,
it was
like,
really
wondering
unnecessary.
why Magic was clowning on him, like getting on him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
It was.
yeah, he's 21. Yeah.
Like, this dude's what, 21? Like,
Kev, how many years did you have for Lonzo?
Well, if he's gonna, I'm gonna go 3.
3? So we got 2, 3, and
Yeah.
5 between the three of us?
so it's consensus
he's
that
gonna
he
be
is an
nice.
all-star then, Kyle.
I said let's start at that point. Let's not just assume that he's going to be. Let's start. Do I think that he can be? Yeah, I do think that he can be an all-star. But I'm not just going to say that at some point he will be an all-star. Like, let's see him go out there and actually do something. And please, if you're going to respond on Twitter and you don't like what I have to say, do not throw any Summer League stats at me. I don't give a shit what these dudes do in Summer League.
Got to start
So it
somewhere.
didn't
though.
happen then, huh? It didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
I mean, it's not against NBA caliber talent, so I don't give a shit what they do.
it's a good gauge to see where they're at, though. You know, going
Yeah,
against.
but I'm not anointing
Super
people
He's
off
the
of it.
only
Don't throw
one the Lakers
stats at
have
me like it's
drafted
going to mean
who
something.
has went into summer league and dominated. Brandon Ingram didn't. D'Angelo Russell didn't. Julius Randle didn't. He's the only one that went out there and looked like he was playing with people he shouldn't have been playing against. Yeah.
Like he's already ready, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly,
isn't that a
yeah.
good thing? Like that he's just out there
Yeah.
doing that? Like what if he was out there just 2-point average like his dad? Like how good how good would things be then? You know what I mean? Like it's not an accident that he's out there balling. Maybe he just balls wherever he goes. You know
Right.
why? It's his
Except
last
the
name.
NCAA tournament,
in
he
the
getting balled in.
didn't
All
have
right,
a
so the
bad
other
game
part-
against Kentucky, did he? I mean, defensively, I know he struggled, but he scored a bit and got some that as assists like usual, didn't he?
I think he had a below-average game for him offensively, even in that game. Like, I don't think his shooting percentage was good, very good. But Rich, there was a second part of that one, along with the Lakers,
yeah,
for another
there's,
question about Ingram, right?
Well, let me first say it comes from another podcast. It's ESPN. It stands for Everything Plus More Sports. Every sport plus more, or something like that. I was trying to pull it up for some reason. It's not pulling up on my Twitter. But they're a Laker-centric podcast. Like, if you love the Lakers and you love to just hear about the Lakers and all sorts of things, here it is. It's ESPN LA Los Angeles. They just talk all Lakers. So if you're a Laker fan and you want to hear great news about the Lakers and somewhat one-sided news about the Lakers, you'll love to listen to it. But they wanted to know, how do you see Ingram as a player in the future? And how do you think he'll do given his rookie numbers compared to other stars like Dame, et cetera, et cetera? Hey.
I'm going to take this one
Your
first
world.
again, if that's all right with you guys.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
So, we haven't really established who we are all fans of, but I work for UNC. I am a diehard Tar Heel. Brandon
Tar
Ingram went to
Heels.
Duke. I hate everything that has to do with Duke.
2 strikes.
Except for him. He is the only guy, and you three can vouch for this. He's the only Duke player that's ever come out that I've been like, I like him. I think he's going to be good. And I think Brandon Ingram has superstar potential. There's just something about his game. He just has the look of an NBA player. I think people need to be a little more patient, though. Like I say it all the time. These are 19-year-old kids. They think just because they're in the NBA that it's going to take 2 years, they're going to develop into the stud that you think they're going to be. Give them 4 or 5 years, and I think that's what it's going to take for Ingram. I think you'll see a step up, because you always do from that first year to the second year. Whenever guys move up a level, that second year is always a big jump, so I think you'll see better numbers from him, at least shooting percentage-wise. I don't know that his numbers overall will be that much better, because, you know, who knows what the Lakers are going to be like this season.
I want to say, number one, you need to start putting some respect on Luol Deng's name coming out of Duke as a Bulls fan.
Nah.
Let him know.
I got no problem with Dang, but I didn't root for him coming out of college. I wasn't like, yes, this dude is going to be good. He turned out to be good for our team, and because of that, I'm going to give him a pass. But
Yep.
otherwise, that's it.
Respect that man. I got nothing but love for Luol.
Yes.
He's still on the Lakers, isn't he?
Yes.
He was trash for y'all last year, wasn't he?
It's because Tibbs ran him down.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, he was playing 45 or 48 out there. Him and Butler. I think Ingram can definitely be an all-star caliber player. It's going to definitely take some time, like you said, because, you know, he's, 150 pounds? Like,
Yeah, like he's
Soaking
got to
wet.
fill it out to do. He's got to get into his grown man body.
yeah, it's, you know, you get into the league, and these dudes this is what these dudes do, is live for working out and playing basketball. So, you know, it's a big difference in college, for, you know, even though just going 1 year, and you got to deal with these grown men that are going to push you off your spots and just work you and wear you down. So, you know, he's got to grow, get some meat on his bones, get his strength up. But I'm sure they're on that.
Yeah,
they
he
probably
was
got
eating,
him on a
like,
crazy meal
couple
plan. So
thousand
once
calories
he
a
fills
day.
out a little bit,
It was like a rule that he had.
it's crazy. Like, Imagine that. They just like, you have to eat like 7 meals a day now.
Yo, they said it's
Damn,
weird to
Danny,
see in
Look how
person.
skinny that fool is, man.
Yeah,
They said it's
Yeah,
weird to
McCoy-
see in person, like how skinny he is.
What's that? Yeah, like his ankles are so ridiculously skinny, it looks like somebody's wrist going into a shoe.
From the standpoint that they wanted to know like how it compared to like other players, I actually went on basketballreference.com and I compared his rookie season to Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Dame Lillard's. Now, Damian Lillard was like 23 years old when he was a rookie. So like his numbers are a lot better. He averaged 19 points, 6.5 assists, and 3 rebounds
Yeah.
on 42% shooting and 36 from 3. But comparing him to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, he averaged more points than both of them. and he shot 29% from three this year, and so did Paul George his rookie year. And Paul George actually shoots close to 40% from three now. So I think, yeah, like everyone said, you just got to give Brandon Ingram some time. And, you know, if he doesn't blow up this year, like, he's still only 20 years old. Like, just relax a little bit. I think he has to,
Give him a
he has
couple
to
more.
improve, like, his shooting motion a little bit. I saw some things where, like, people didn't like the way he released it. But that all comes with time. That comes with coaching. That comes with learning the deeper three-point line. And I think he's...
Yeah, and McCoy, you and I saw that right up in front with Justin Jackson this year. It doesn't take a lot; just put in the work, and you can increase your range and your accuracy, and that's what Brandon needs to do as well.
Yeah, Justin shot like 29% his sophomore year, and
Yep.
he was absolutely
Jumped up to
lights
40.
out. Yeah, so I mean,
You guys are forgetting one thing.
That does
man.
matter.
He's going to be playing with ball out there, and that's gonna all the pressure is really on the point guard now, man. I mean, Brandon's just out there. They're not really thinking about him being that high pick as much because you got Mr. Ball and his son out there.
But was there a lot of
spotlight.
pressure on Ingram this year, though?
I think it was him and Russell. They were looked at out here in LA anyway.
You're out in LA, so you know better than we do.
They
Well,
were
maybe not rich,
They were
but-
they were the kids, man.
But-
That was like their bright spots. You know what I mean? And now he's kind of taking a little bit of a. And if Lonzo Ball is this premier point guard coming up, he gonna make him that much better. Now
that's huge.
I don't know how much better, but who's gonna have the better career, Luol Deng or Brandon Ingram?
But if Brandon Ingram...
Dang, baby.
I think Brandon Ingram.
But see, if Brandon
Dang.
Ingram,
I think
Brandon
is
Ingram has
Luol
the
Deng,
possibility of
people
being a
can't get mad
superstar.
about that.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
They will.
that's the
Luol
thing.
Deng was a
And
great player to
also
have on a
for the-
team.
Like, as the season went on, he got better. Like, in the month of March, he played 11 games. He averaged 13.5 points. He shot 51% from the field. Like, if you watch the Laker games, he started to attack with a lot more confidence. Like, he was getting to the rim. Like, when his shot wasn't falling, he would drive. He would dunk on people. It was just feeling it out. Like, he had to get a feel for the game. And I think if people just yeah.
And that was the Brandon Ingram that I saw in college, and that was why I was so high on him when he was coming out, and still think that he's
It's
gonna
on
be really
those
good.
two. It's on Ball and
He lit
Ingram.
us up.
Yeah,
My brother
I think
thinks
it's on Ball,
Ingram is
Ingram,
trash.
and then your front office
Well,
to
see,
go
that's
and
the
get
thing, the whole
one more
thing is
player this
they
coming
want
off season.
And I don't know if a 34-year-old LeBron is the right one to go after, but that's what they want to do.
You can't
Yeah,
say
you know
no
what?
if he wants to come, right?
I think I would.
You can, but would it not just? But you're saying it's not a good thing, and I think I agree with you in the aspect of if LeBron comes, the focus of developing these young kids into your future completely goes out the window, and it's all about LeBron and trying to win right now, right
Yeah,
right
and
that
I don't know if
season.
they'll be ready for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if they get LeBron and
Yeah.
like Paul George,
Especially out in the West.
I mean, you're talking about a second-year point guard
Maybe.
and a third-year small forward who's skinny as rails. So, like, I don't know. I would rather get
Man, Kyrie don't even
Yeah,
want to play with
yeah.
LeBron. Those guys are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
I don't know.
Yeah. You sure will.
Yeah.
The other two is
All right,
how
what were
do
the
you,
other
this
two we
is
got, Rich,
from
for,
the
fan
NBA
questions?
nucleus. I can never say that word. How do you think the Timberwolves will do this season? And do you
Nucleus.
see a championship in the future for them with their exiting potential? Yeah, I don't think he meant exiting. Exciting potential, I think he meant. But yeah, how do you guys feel the Timberwolves are going to do?
Yeah. I'll let one of you guys take this first. Kev, go ahead, take this one.
Oh, they're definitely making the playoffs. But that's in the Western Conference, so I don't know, man. I think Tibbs got his Timber Bulls out there, and he's gonna roll with it, man. I like Towns is gonna come out. I think he's definitely fired up from not getting defensive player, all NBA team votes. I think that's gonna fire him up. He got your boy Jimmy Butler, man. I think they got the right kind of nucleus there to take it. I mean, what do you guys think?
Go ahead, McCoy.
Yeah, I think they should definitely make the playoffs with that team. Towns is only going to get better. Um, I mean, I think a big problem with them once they actually hit the playoffs is going to be that Teague sucks, but they'll be fine in the regular season. They have too much talent. They're about to max out Wiggins too, so they got a nice core to build around with Towns, Wiggins, and Butler out there. And I don't know how deep their bench is, but I think they got some young players out there, so they'll be fine. I'm just trying to look at the standings and see which
becomes
team
hard
I
in the
think they
West.
would knock out of the playoffs, though.
The Jazz.
And yeah, I was thinking the Jazz too is really the only team that made it last year that probably won't because they lost Hayward, but maybe Portland too. But we'll see. I don't know if they'll win a
Yeah.
championship though. I mean, definitely not within the next couple years, but
Nah,
down the road.
No
Yeah.
championship, but I think playoffs, and I think a lot is going to ride on Wiggins.
Yeah, see how he's just yeah. So they don't have any shooting is their problem right now, so they're never going to compete with these high scoring teams, the Warriors and the Rockets and stuff. How are they going to beat them when nobody on their team can score outside the paint?
Exactly.
So I think I agree with you guys that they're definitely a playoff team, but in order for them to win a title, I think they need to go get another player. And why not? It's in a very attractive place to go now with those two young guys with Cat and Wiggins, and then you got Jimmy Buckets. Next year, one of these free agents that are out there could be swayed to go out to Minnesota, and then you could be talking about possibly them competing for a title at that point. But with the current roster, I don't see them being able to do it.
Traditional Timberwolves, man. They got the big man, the big superstar there, and a couple other good guys
Well-
out there, and they'll make it to the first round.
My question is actually
they
with
need
Wiggins.
they need shooters.
Like, I think Wiggins is a really good player. I think he's young. I think he's exciting. But he's kind of one-dimensional. Like, he gets buckets. Like, for his career, he averages 4 rebounds and 2 assists. I think when you're that athletic, you should be able to give him the ball and have him go create a little bit more. Because now when he gets the ball, it's like, you know what he's going to do. He's going to try to get his buckets. He's not going to suck in anyone and dish it out. He's not going to move the ball well. I mean, he doesn't shoot bad at all. Like, he shoots 45% from the field, and last year he bumped his three-point percentage up to 35%. So, like, that's good. Like, he's growing. But I would just like to see him be more of a playmaker with all the athleticism. Because if you can have him...
Do you think
If you can have him be
He's
that
22, he has
playmaker
time.
on the wing with Jimmy Butler, like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you
And
got
so,
something.
do you think that will change things? Because before Jimmy got there, Wiggins was kind of looked at as the number one perimeter guy. Cat is down low; he's a big dude. So now you're going to be looked at as the 2 option. You don't have to be that guy that goes and gets buckets. You can kick it out. You can also be the guy
I
who's
actually
left
think it's
wide
a
open
stunt
because the defense
Like
collapses
his
on Jimmy.
development there, because now like Jimmy's going to be handling the ball, and Jimmy's going to be making the plays. So he's going to fall back to like, all right, when Jimmy drives, I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to attack the rim. And we've seen what he does when he attacks the rim. Like, he throws it down on anyone that's there. So
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that Jimmy's gonna
Yeah.
be dishing it off to him, and then it's gonna be a black hole.
Yeah. Wiggins honestly should
Yes.
model himself after Jimmy Butler. He's more athletic than him, but they both came in as good defenders. Jimmy worked his ass off to make his offensive output reach that level to where his defense was. So that's a perfect person for him to try to model his game after. Like, hey, I'm gonna take the same exact steps he did. Especially
got
with
the
Jimmy's
coach
work
that-
ethic.
And he's
Right.
got the coach that modeled Jimmy into what he is.
Exactly. So I think it's a good fit for him. He's definitely going to have to get used to playing second fiddle to Jimmy a little bit. But Wiggins is only 22, so
yeah, he's got more.
he has time
I
to
just
work
think
it
with his
out.
athleticism, he should get more than 4 rebounds a game. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. That's just effort. Honestly, that's what that is. Just not trying. That's his size with his jumping ability. Absolutely, he needs more. He should be getting like 7 at least.
all right, we have one more question. If you want to just knock it out real quick. The last question was from Zach Dish 19. Will the Hornets make the playoffs? If so, what seed and record? Kyle, you're in North Carolina.
They'll make the playoffs because they've improved their team this offseason, and the East is absolutely garbage. So, yeah, they'll make the playoffs. What seed? I can't imagine them being above a 5. And if you're going to be a 5 seed in the East, your record is probably going to be right around 42-42, maybe a little bit less than that. But I do like the moves that they made. You know, Dwight Howard is not what he used to be. Nobody's going to think that he's going to be that, but it's a big man that can get you some rebounds, and apparently he's tried to expand his game and work on shooting three-pointers this offseason. We'll see how that goes, but they still got Kemba Walker. Frank Kaminsky wasn't a bad player for him last year in his
Your boy.
first or second year, and then they drafted Malik Monk out of Kentucky. And if anybody watched any of college basketball this season, you know that Malik Monk can drop buckets. He can score the ball. So I like the moves that they made. I just don't, it's the East. You're not really going to do anything in the East except for get into maybe the first or second round out there.
Straub, it's funny you said that there'll be maybe no higher than a 5th seed. You know who the 5th seed was last year? Dwight and the Hawks.
There you go. Just
take
follow
They're the
Dwight.
new Hawks. They're the new Hawks, man.
Yeah, pretty much. But if you're a Charlotte Hornets fan, you got to just be happy with that. You haven't won. You didn't have a franchise for a long time because they got taken away. Then they came back, and they were the fake Charlotte Hornets because they were called the Bobcats, and they
Fake
sucked.
ones.
And now just in the last couple of years, they've gotten the Hornets and that kind of stigma going again. And
Mike came
They're
in and
building.
made things right.
yeah, so just be happy with making the playoffs and maybe getting to the second round. I think that's about their max right now, unless they make some more moves.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a lower seed, like 6 or 7-ish. I like Dwight Howard, whatever, he's good, but he doesn't really do anything for me. I'm definitely gonna hate on him. So that is what it is. So yeah, I think they're gonna finish right around 500. It's looking at who made the playoffs in the East last year, though, Atlanta's not gonna make it this year, and
Bulls.
Indiana,
the Bulls
The
ain't gonna
Bulls.
make it, and Indiana ain't gonna make it. So there's 3 spots open. So the Hornets
and last
could
year the
definitely
Hornets
take one.
just missed out. So
Right.
yeah.
No, they were a few games back. They were like 5 games back from the Bulls. So
Now, did they fall back that far at the end?
yeah, they were 17 games back from first. The Bulls were 12, but they were.
That was strategery. They were just trying to position themselves for better.
It worked out good. Monk's a good pick. That dude can light it up.
Yeah.
Markel
Yeah.
Fultz is saying the 76ers are claiming one of those other 3 spots.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Me neither. If Embiid can play the whole season,
Yeah.
but he hasn't shown that he can. So until he does, I'm not saying he's gonna. I liked Embiid. His personality, how he acts, but he's got to play games.
Yeah. for
Otherwise,
sure.
he can just go somewhere. Like, you're not doing anything for me being out here trying to be a funny guy all the time if you're not playing. Like,
Just catching
30
home run derby balls, man. Get
yeah,
outta
right,
here.
with those
big
automatic glove he has on.
The built-in baseball glove.
Right, like, he needs to get with it. Philly, what's this? Is going into his 4th season in the league now? So he's played, 30 games and is in 3 years? So 10 games a
gonna get
season
paid,
he's
man.
averaging. And the Sixers are going to have to pay him soon. So he only has, a season or 2 left on his contract? Yeah, he is.
That dude makes the most money per game ever.
So say Embiid stays on this path.
Yeah.
Say he plays,
If I'm
40
Philly,
games
yeah.
this year and,
else,
37 the
like,
next year
what
or
are my
something
other
like that.
choices?
You're throwing a max at him?
I mean, if you're Philly, you have to. This is what you've been doing the last, 8
gotta
years?
spend the
Trust
money.
the process. Well, here's your process. You have to give him that max.
But what if the process is chronically injured? You're screwing yourself.
Oh, he's so nice when he plays. bro.
Now your process isn't playing.
That's your own fault for taking that dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
They knew he was
Yeah.
injured when they took him.
In the NBA, he's making bank, and in the NFL, out of here.
Yeah, he would have been out of the league already. Uh-huh.
Cut. You're cut. Give me that check.
Yeah, come back when you can play.
The best ability is availability.
Oh yeah, where's that sucker
Hey,
at?
do you have that guy's name that
Right?
said we were all haters on Tebow?
Oh, yeah. What's up with that?
Right?
He didn't even listen. Clearly
Putting
didn't listen.
the plural out there.
Every
This was
time I
only
tweet the
one.
Mets account, I put
There's
that in
one,
there.
there's one haters,
Angels in the outfield was born off that, man.
right?
I've seen that. It's awesome.
That dude just trying to throw shade without even reading. Why don't you listen first before you try to criticize?
Console gamer, here we go. Console gamer
Wow.
threw at us his stat line and his 20 games, because 20 games is enough for us to judge him on. Well,
I've never hated on
me,
Tebow
you
in
guys
my
won't
life.
anyway, and then said, "You guys are just Tebow haters." Yes, I am. But these three aren't. Clearly, you didn't listen very closely, console gamer, because they love Tim Tebow.
Yeah, lay off the console.
You should be
game
playing
and
it up.
Use your ears.
That guy probably likes Mr. Met too out there, flipping off his fans. That probably is Mr. Met. Look at him in disguise,
He flipped off his fans.
creeping in
Kev,
out
you
here.
really got a thing for Mr. Met, dude.
So when a mascot takes off the costume, they're in disguise, or is the disguise the mascot costume?
His Twitter tag is a disguise. He's not Mr. Met anymore. They pulled it away, flipping people off. Got no more Twitter handle. How you like that?
Did they fire that guy that was in the suit?
Do you even really know?
Why? Who do you know who it is, though?
That's
Nobody
what I'm
can
saying.
tell
He's
you it's
back.
not the same person. Yeah, he's flipping him off again.
Right? They could have just went to him and be like, "Yo, we're gonna put this release out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it again."
The Mets.
Yeah. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, but
Mr. Mets
how do
got
you know that's
clout.
the truth?
Yes, he did get fired. I just looked it up.
Well, I know they
Yeah, I
put the
know they
article
said
out,
that, but I said, how do you
Because
really
you know
know?
there's some
How do you
sucker
know?
ass Met employee who
I
like
didn't
wearing
know
a
the
mask
inside
all
Met
shit.
never got fired.
Yeah, right.
Unless it's
Right? Keep your mouth shut. Trying to take paper out of people's pockets.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
People always snitching
Yep.
for
Stop
no
counting
reason.
my money.
Right.
Right? Whole bunch of balls rolling
Right.
around.
Mr. Met's got Mr. Met's got a family. Oh.
Right? You just see Mr.
Curveballs.
Met sitting at the table stressed out with light bills. and
fastballs.
shit.
They're all running through the house doing something different.
Flipping people off.
Knuckle, will you sit the hell down?
Yeah.
But he is flipping people off.
Well, since we're talking about Mr. Met and baseball a little bit, Kev, let's chat about what happened the last couple days, the trade deadline with your Yankees, my Mets. We thought the Yankees would be buyers, and they were. We thought the Mets would be sellers, and they were both buyers and sellers. I love the moves that the Mets made. They got Ramos, which is a move for next year. They'll be able to pair him up with Familia in the bullpen when we're healthy, try and make a run at another division title. But then we get rid of Duda, get ourselves five right-handed arms for the minor leagues between him and Addison Russell, who, ironically, we talked about those two guys maybe going to the Yankees, and they go to two teams in the AL East, not the Yankees. Russell to the Red Sox and Duda to the Rays. But the Yankees didn't stay quiet. You guys made a couple of moves today, though.
Hell yeah, dude! I was fired up. Got my man Sonny Gray out here chucking peas, dude. This guy is gonna help us. He could be our 1, he could be our 2, he could be our 3. I'm pumped. We got a nice lefty who won the World Series a couple years ago at the Cardinals, Jamie Garcia, and then my boy. I don't pronounce it like that, but thank you.
He does. So
I know he does.
you better get it right.
But
He's on your
but
team
in
now.
New York, they're gonna call him Jamie. I promise you that. And then the young buck in the rotation, Luis Severino, is killing it. So I like what they did with the rotation. I like the bullpen help they got a couple weeks back. That was big. Houston added Liriano. I can't believe he went from being like this young buck that was awesome, then tore up his elbow, and now he's like reinvented his career.
Yeah, him and Santana were like the 1-2 for a while.
But I like the deal that the Yankees did. I know they're big on this farm system, but we didn't give up any of the big guys in it.
That's not completely true. I'm cool with the move that you guys made, but the three dudes that you traded away were your top, were in your top 10, and the pitcher was your number one prospect. But they're also all hurt, so
Yes.
you give up some guys that have a question mark on them, but it could turn out to be three studs that you end up giving up.
And I hear you there, but the pitcher, if that one got me worried. You know what I mean? Because it's Tommy John. They all have those, so that's kind of
At this
it's
point,
like-
if you haven't
it's like a
had Tommy
headache,
John, it's
dude.
just when is it coming? Yeah.
Exactly, but the other guy, Fowler, he tore his patella tendon, and that just looked disgusting when he did it. So That's a serious injury. And then,
But he
You
tore
have to
that
keep calling
in the
the
major
majors
leagues,
to
though,
show.
right? Like he was already
Yeah.
called up to the show, so
First
that's
game,
a guy
dude.
who's ready to be playing right away if he
Keep
can
on
come
oh,
doing
out.
he's a
it.
stud, dude.
I'll go back to what I was doing.
Didn't even realize I was. All right.
But the other guy they gave up plays infield, and all the others we're stacked there, dude. And we just got a young up and coming pitcher on a cheap 2-year contract. I mean, it just doesn't help for this
Yeah.
run. Like the Dodgers
Gray
just
being-
gave up 3 or 4 studs for Yu Darvish for what, 2 months,
Yeah.
and they're
that's
still
just
gonna
rental,
blow
but,
it in the playoffs.
but yeah, you guys getting Gray 27 and you have him for the next 2
Are there, like,
seasons under
bird
that
rights
rookie deal.
in baseball?
That part is
Like-
very nice for you, though.
Now that they have him.
So, yeah, man, it was
under a
exciting,
rookie deal,
definitely.
they'll be able to offer him.
Cool. So when you
It's
draft
really
somebody,
confusing
yes.
to me.
They go to
When you
arbitration,
draft
right?
somebody, yes. But
Alright.
once they're in the major leagues for a certain amount of years, if they're traded, that's no longer a thing. That's the case with him. Yeah. But he's past arbitration at this point. So he's got
Got it.
2 years left, and then he's just a free agent, free and clear. Anybody can sign him. No punishment, nothing like that. What happens in the in MLB is if you sign a guy that somebody drafted, brought up through the minor leagues and up to their
Okay.
major league team, you forfeit a first-round pick the following year in order to sign that guy. So I guess that's their way of trying to keep guys on the team that was drafted by them.
I got you, but he's making $3 million the next 2 years, and once he
Yeah.
becomes a free agent, what is he's going to make like $30 million, no, $20
Yeah,
million. You know what I mean? He's a
baseball
starting pitcher.
is so incredibly, and it just the rookie deal to your second deal, the numbers jump up so much.
And he's a pitcher. Those are the most highest paid people in the world.
Yes,
man.
they are.
And it's all guaranteed.
Yep. Look at the contract that David Price got, and he's been hurt the entire time he's been in Boston. Thanks for $200
Bobby
million.
Bowe, your boy Bobby Bowe, still getting paid.
He's not a pitcher. That has nothing to do with
He's
what
a
we were talking
baseball
about,
player.
Kev.
I said baseball player.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, maybe it cut out, but no, a baseball player, man. Those guys guaranteed contracts. You get paid forever,
Yeah.
man.
Yep. All right, we're towards the end, so let's get to our 4 corners. And because we did not get to this topic because we had enough to talk about with CTE and some questions, I want my corner to be Game of Thrones last night.
Yes.
I know Kev didn't get to see it; he's not caught up yet. But Rich, McCoy, you guys both get to tune in and check it out.
Yep, I watched it today.
All right. Oh, you watched it today? Good. All right. So they're supposed to make Euron Greyjoy this like real bad, hated person in the show. I got to tell you, I'm starting to like the dude. He's funny as hell. The comment he had last night when he said to Jamie, he said, "Do you have any advice? If you have an hour or two, could we talk?" Jamie said, "Advice? Does she like it rough? Does she like it gentle? A finger in the bum?" How you gonna hate somebody that says something like that? Like, that was funny as hell, but they're trying to villainize him. I like the character, though. Keep on mashing skulls with that axe and getting in on the brother-sister duo there.
Yeah, I was in on him last week. I remember I said after the battle axe scene when he raided
Yep.
the boat, so he had me dying coming and playing to the crowd as he came through with the prisoners. He was loving it. I thought he was the man. I'm in on him. I don't think he's like anything. You know, they said he was going to be all like terrifying and, you know, more so than Ramsey was, but I don't think he's like anything like that.
No, not at all. It's the complete opposite.
Yeah, he's more like, you know, he's definitely more laid back and like he's just always joking around and stuff. So I think it's cool.
Well, so apparently in the books, the way that they make him, and this is why people thought he'd be so terrible, and I don't know if this is in the books or if this is what the guy that writes him is planning on putting in, but apparently Euron has a younger brother that he tortured physically and emotionally and like
Oh.
raped and stuff, and then later on in life would bring it up and say, "Hey, you remember that time that I raped you?" That kind of stuff is what made him so bad in the books. But yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I'm
But you
glad
can't do that on TV. Not even like I don't care that it's HBO. You can't really put that on there. So maybe they're just trying to go a different angle with him and have him be this funny kind of evil character.
Yeah, I'm glad that he doesn't do that because that would have made me not
Yeah.
like him real quick. He keeps
Like,
poking
when I read
Jamie in the chest, so those two are gonna go at it at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Like they're probably, because we're so close to the end of this show, those two will, one of them will kill the other probably.
I don't think he's gonna kill Jamie. I think if anything, Jamie is gonna kill him. I keep thinking. I keep having thoughts. I think Jamie's gonna end up killing Cersei. Honestly, you bring the
You can tell
Kingslayer
he's
back
kind of
out.
getting a little fed up. The Kingslayer again. Yeah.
Yep. He's gonna go back to his old ways.
Yeah. We also saw Bran get back to Winterfell.
I hate
He's
that
weird
dude.
now as a three-eyed raven. Yeah,
I hate
he's
that
weird.
dude. Like Sansa was hugging him and crying, he's just staring. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it's going to show like how he's just like, being the three-eyed raven, he's like disconnected from all
Cersei
that.
did it
but,
again.
I don't know. He's just a creeper.
Like,
Yeah.
it kind of feels like.
Did you have any
the
thoughts on
typical
it last night,
build-up
Rich?
Of the person you don't want to winning at first, and then something will
Yeah, she
happen and
did.
she'll lose it all. But until that happens, she did it again. Like they had this big plan to go get that castle, and she was like, "Okay, you go do that."
Yeah.
Like
And another one.
she, even though she's like sucks, she's someone on the show that I like. I really
Play
admire.
right into my hand.
Because she's the only one holding stuff down. Like she got the sand snake. Like she's making that woman watch her daughter die in the dungeon. Like
Yeah, you kind of have to. For
yeah.
7 years.
Yeah,
Yo, that was
she's ruthless.
brutal.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't know.
Did you notice
Just
when she
out-
went in there
just
that that's
out
what
of
she was
touch.
gonna do?
I didn't know that was what she was going to do, no.
I didn't pick up on it right away, but I did notice the lipstick, and I was like, "Why is she wearing that lipstick?" And then she ended up doing that. I was like, "Oh, there we go." But yeah.
Oh, yo.
She's gonna be tight when Jamie goes and tells her what Olenna said to her at the end there, because she doesn't.
Oh, yeah, because she revealed she killed Joffrey.
yeah,
Yeah,
she thinks it's not gonna change her opinion on Tyrion, but it's I think it changes Jamie's mind on him a lot that he knows.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
he didn't actually kill Joffrey. But,
I mean, that was something that I kind of, the show kind of tells you, like, he wasn't the one who killed it, but you never really know who it was until last night. But yeah, that was a big plot reveal. And then we
I
also
think-
saw.
Well, we knew it wasn't Tyrion the whole time. I think a lot of it was. I think we
But
already
they never
knew that
tell
she
you who
did.
it is, so did you?
I thought so. I don't know. I'd have to watch some of the other
Yeah,
episodes
pretty sure
again.
you
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that it came out that it was her. Otherwise, though, like I'm pretty sure we already knew that going in, because that wasn't like the first time we get like, oh my god, she did it. That wasn't what that moment was for. It was just to her basically coming out saying, "You got me here, but I get the last laugh," you know.
Well, it was for me. I didn't realize she was the one who had killed him.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's makes it even better
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
That was a good way to end the show.
Yeah, definitely. And instead of having that like build up normally where they have somebody give a speech like, "All right, I'm gonna go kick some ass," and then you got to wait for a week.
Well, next week it's gonna go down with the dragons in action.
Yep.
So we'll see
All right,
them flying.
go ahead and take your corner, McCoy.
All right. Oh shit. All right, so
Unknown
I
error.
just completely
I
blanked.
instantly got sad.
So surprise here. Did you guys see Allen Iverson didn't show up for the Big 3 game yesterday?
No, I didn't.
So
I
So-
heard that. I saw that.
yeah, he just said he got photographed in a casino. So he was in the area, but he just didn't go to the game. So do
Is
you
he
think
o-
stuff like this happening is going to end up leading to this league folding eventually?
I mean, yeah, because he's supposed to be like the headliner, the main guy out there promoting it, and he's just not showing up a couple weeks in.
I was just
That's not a
listening
good
to PTI, and they were just debating this before I got on here, and they said that it was cool for like the first week. The build up to it was cooler than it's been, and then being able to
Have
watch
you guys
it
been
on
let
delay.
down by this league?
I don't know.
Like,
This
we were
is
all
this
hyped
type of
for it,
stuff.
but
You're going to
is
see
the
him
idea-
out of there. You're
Is
going to see
the
someone
is
else
the
out of
idea
there.
of it
It's gonna be
cooler
a
than
joke,
actually
man.
watching it? Because I have no interest in watching it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, I have been.
And-
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Outside of the first 2 weeks, I haven't watched
That
it.
is weird to be
I
on
don't
Twitter
like
on
that it's not
Sunday. They're
live.
like,
That-
"Oh, this happened." And
Once
like,
I know
that's
it's not
dumb.
live,
You
I'm
can't
like,
just
I
put
don't
it on
even like. I don't
TV.
even want to watch it.
Yeah, because of
And
something.
if it,
Well,
I don't get that. Like, I don't
Like,
understand
what are you putting
why.
on Sunday night that's so much cooler right
Fox
now?
is some
There's nothing
garbage
else going on that
sports,
Fox is
though,
putting
man.
on.
Probably NASCAR.
Like for real, like
'Cause that's
on my
cool stuff,
personal
yeah.
on my personal Twitter account, I follow
Way,
nothing
left
Fox
hand
related.
turn.
Like I just realized that, but on the fellas Twitter account,
Yeah.
I
What's that?
follow like
Fox,
basically
yeah.
everyone, so I can chime in on stuff. But yo, they are trash. They come up with the fakest talking points. They say the dumbest shit. Like I don't understand it at all.
The only sports.
Yeah, right.
That whole
It's-
undisputed show is like that whole just trying to answer back at first take. Like, where are we? Why are we doing this? You
Yeah.
can't have
Yeah,
your
you know what it-
like have a show. I don't care, but like it's
You know
really
what it
the
is?
same thing.
It's
the
the
same
DC
exact thing.
Oh, let's not
It's
let
the
ESPN
DC of
slide. They do
sports
some dumb
TV.
shit too. But
ESPN is
Yeah.
Marvel and
the only
Fox
difference
is
between
DC.
ESPN and Fox really is that ESPN has the games.
They do,
They
but
just
they
do
also
it
do some
first,
cool
man.
shit
They
too.
just do it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, yeah, they have that. Okay, yeah.
Yep. I don't
That and like there's some other programming like the 30 for 30s.
The only thing I watch on Fox Sports is the UFC stuff because Fox has the UFC right. So
That and
All right, I'm
soccer.
gonna go off.
yeah,
on a
so
They'll have
it's
soccer on
here.
there.
I'm not sure any of you will have anything to say
All
about
right,
this
Rich,
from
your
Koi
corner.
Mike,
Go ahead, bud.
but in the past, I've kind of shouted out Tyler, the creator, from time to time. I really
always
like the
got something
kid.
to say.
He's gonna be 25, I believe. I don't mess with any of his music. I think it's just like I'm not the right age for it. But I think he's really talented. I think he's got a lot of like creativity inside of him. He's worked with Pharrell. He's made his own shoes for Converse. He's made commercials for Mountain Dew. Like he's a really talented kid. And I just wanted to shout him out because his album Flower Boy came out I think last week. And it leaked 2 weeks before it came out, but it still hit #1 on the hip hop charts. Which is kind of crazy because his fans really came out and they just bought his album out of straight love. And you don't see stuff like that happening anymore. Like, if an album leaked 2 weeks ago, like, I'm not going to pay for it. Like, there's no way. And it's just this hold he has over his fans and, like, that generation
Hell no,
of
I'm
kids
downloading
with
it when
all
it
his
leaks.
Future stuff and just how he is as a person. And, like I said, I don't mess with his music. Like, I never really understood it. Like, I never really thought a ton of it was good. But I go out of my way to watch interviews and read stuff with him because I just think he's a dope-ass person. But I was reading DJ Academics. He has a show with Joe Buttons on Complex. And, like, he was going on that how his fans added 20,000 sales when, like, initial sales to when it first came out on last Tuesday. And now it's up to, like, 75,000 copies of his album. And like I said, next week or this week, it's over 100,000 sales and is going to debut at #1. Like, that's something special, like in the year 2017, that he can have that kind of hold. So I just wanted to shout him out. You don't really have to comment on it, but it is
Oh,
what
yeah.
it is. Yo,
I don't
he's
listen to
just
any of his music,
he's just
so
a wild
I don't
kid.
really know
Like,
much
he's a
about the guy.
skateboarder and like he
I don't
makes
even know who
really
the hell you're
weird
talking
music,
about. But that's
and,
impressive, though.
like, he raps. And I
Speaking
never
of-
really thought it was good, but like he has features with Kanye and Pusha T,
Yeah.
and Nicki Minaj. Like, all these people love him, and Pharrell co-signs for him all the time. So I don't know. Just shout out to Tyler, the creator. Huh?
Just not trying to be a hater, man. Trying to throw some
Yeah,
positivity
don't want
out
people
there.
calling you a hater. Speaking of things that leaked, we didn't even talk about. Did you guys hear about the HBO hack?
No.
So HBO apparently got hacked, cyber hacked, and people got the scripts for like Game of Thrones, Ballers, and all their other shows.
Oh wow. When
So-
did this happen? Like in the last couple days?
No, I think all this news came out like today, honestly.
Oh wow.
But
No,
yeah,
I hadn't
the-
heard about that at all.
Yep.
Looks like I'm going to read the scripts from Game of Thrones after we get off of here. Then.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's all over the internet right now.
Yeah, so I know you guys are going to read it because you already read what's going to happen in season 7. So I'm staying away from that. Don't worry. When I find the link, I got you.
Yo,
I
McCoy.
mean, what
Blue
up?
fire.
Don't start with me, man.
Nah.
Kev, you been
All
watching
right,
any
Kev.
ballers?
I'm gonna watch it all. I'm gonna watch them tonight.
All right, cool. Hit me
I
up
got
when
it
you're
on the
done.
DVR. Of course, man. That shit is wild.
Kev, take us home.
All right, man. So I'll kind of stick on this theme of not doing sports. So you guys sent me an article a couple weeks ago about artificial intelligence, and it's creating this languages that humans can't understand. I just watched this video earlier today where they designed this either like a spider looking thing or a human looking thing, and they programmed it and enticed it to get to this other side of this maze, and it just learns how to walk and run. And I want to know why do we have to create these things? Like Game of Thrones is getting hacked right now, man. What's gonna happen when all these artificial intelligence things are out there just
Yo, Kev.
taking over, man?
I am so happy you brought this up because I know Rich and McCoy probably didn't hear about this, but did you guys
literally
at
just said
all
that.
hear about the AI language that Facebook computers created?
Kev just said that.
No. So it's something different from what he's talking about though. So they went and the bots that basically run Facebook had to be shut down because they created their own language. This wasn't like spiders and stuff trying to get stuff. These were AI intelligent computers that just started talking to each other and shit and making stuff up, and Facebook had to literally shut it all down because they were starting to teach themselves different stuff. So you're taking building robots that can teach stuff, and then Facebook, which is just creating its own language and stealing all your goddamn information too.
Wasn't that what you were talking about, Kev?
Well, yeah, they're creating languages that we don't
Yeah, right.
understand. So basically,
Right.
I
didn't know
thought it was
about-
something different because I thought you said there was like a spider they created or something.
No, they did this. Well, it's like a little ball, and it's got 4 legs on it, and then all of a sudden, it like grew
Right.
up straight, and it had 2 arms and 2 legs and a head, and it's just running on this maze, and then it taught
sounds
itself how to
terrifying.
run, and then there's
Yeah,
walls,
like iRobot.
and then it's walls, and all of a sudden it's running and it's jumping and it's climbing over the walls, and then it gets around these big holes. They say that it gets to the other side by learning, but it wants to get to the other side because the person that programmed it like enticed it with like some electronic chicken on the other end, man.
I saw some article the other day. I think it was like the Google CEO or somebody said that by the year like 2028, he expects computer intelligence to match human intelligence, and then he said by the year like 2048, it's going to be all super intelligence and far past human intelligence. So that's what they're building for.
Why? Like, have people not seen iRobot?
They're not familiar with Skynet, apparently.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Tell
I mean,
me right now, somebody tries walking into my house and they got a robot in tow. You could turn around. Nope. Shit's not coming in here and killing me.
Word. Better get Will Smith out here. That's crazy.
He's
All
always
right, guys,
saving the
as
world.
always, we
fine.
appreciate you listening. Follow us on Twitter at The Fellas Podcast. Another one in the books. We're out.
Peace.
So listen, guys, next week.